and then putting us back here. Okay. Hi everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Define Her Story interview today with Leslie Wheeler. Before we get started, I want to let you guys know just a couple of things about the interview. One is that it's an interactive interview. So what that means is that we encourage comments and questions. Just pop them down there in the comments section and we'll be sure to read those and to answer those questions and everything. Also, if you hear something that you like or that you appreciate, please go ahead and show us some hearts. We appreciate that too. And then last, we'd love it if you could turn around and share the interview out with your friends so that way people can get to know Leslie Wheeler as well. So, and speaking of, Leslie, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you coming in today. I want to introduce you to everyone else first, though. And the way that I'm going to do that is I wanted to read the email that I got from your sister Jade, because it was a very touching email that I got. Hello, I am nominating my sister Leslie Wheeler, who is a teacher, artist, and children's author and illustrator. 5 years ago, Leslie made a drastic change in her life. She left a safe job in graphic design and pushed herself to do and be more. Leslie earned her TEFL certification, donated or sold most of her possessions, and set out to Indonesia to teach for 2 years. This was followed by posts in Turkey and South Korea. During this time, she not only taught English, but also created character-building books for them. Leslie's books focus on self-worth and kindness, especially in girls. All the Beautiful Girls is a book in which beautiful ladies teach a young girl positive values and the lesson that confidence and strong character is what makes us beautiful. Since moving to the San Diego area, Leslie has branched out and is now creating coloring pages to go along with the book. These simple, hand-drawn pages feature girls of diverse backgrounds and hairstyles, including a cancer survivor. Each page features an adjective. For example, beautiful girls are courageous, and provides a definition. My sister Leslie is a compassionate, caring, and extremely supportive. She has inspired me, our 6-year-old niece, and her students back in Indonesia, Turkey, and South Korea. So thank you, Jade, for the nomination, and welcome, Leslie. So glad to have you here.
Thank you. I'm really glad to be here, and thank you, Jade.
It's a pretty awesome introduction, I thought, from your sister Jade.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Awesome. And hey, Lindsay, thanks for joining. Appreciate that. Okay, so first question, Leslie, is who has been the biggest influence in your life?
I have to say that it's been my younger sister, Jade. In 2012, she totally helped transform my life by suggesting that I begin teaching abroad.
Very cool. Very cool.
It's been an extremely powerful influence.
Awesome. So, was there anything that was going on in your life that kind of prompted her to encourage you to do that, or?
Yeah, definitely. I started out as a graphic designer, and I did graphic design for 5 years, and then I took a part-time job. It was just kind of offered to me teaching working adults, and then I discovered that I really liked teaching and teaching adults. And I was just not living purposefully, I felt, until I started teaching. And so my sister said, hey, Leslie, what do you think about teaching abroad? And I said, I never thought about that. And so I just decided to work on getting my TEFL certification and started looking for jobs. And after about a month of searching for jobs, I got one right away in Tangerang, Indonesia, and I sold all my stuff, and the rest is history. And I mean, and it really began with the seed planted in my mind from my younger sister.
That's awesome. What was it like living in some of the different countries?
It was terrifying. It was amazing. It was exciting. It was lonely. Oh. I mean, it was the gamut of emotions. I mean, I truly had to work on knowing myself and what I really stand for, and it just totally transformed my life.
Well, thank goodness for your sister Jade and encouraging you to do that.
Yeah, she's really helped to influence big change in my life. I'm so grateful to my younger sister.
That's awesome. How has your life been different than you imagined?
Well, I never thought that I'd become a teacher.
Wow.
And so when I got the part-time job in 2012, I just went into it begrudgingly. I didn't know what was happening. I just, a friend said, hey, we need a couple extra people at this job. Could you please become an adjunct professor at this place? And next thing you know, I was teaching these students. I felt like I was helping. I felt like I was making a huge difference in their lives. And the students really gravitated towards me and my teaching style. So I just never thought I'd become a teacher. And so it's actually just the teaching in general has just taken me by surprise.
It's crazy how life works out like that, right?
It sure, isn't it?
Absolutely. I know, because the things that we thought that we were going to be when we were little kids don't come out to be. And then, again, like I said, even as an adult, I never thought that I would ever have been a business owner or anything like that. And now it's like, I can't imagine doing anything else. Kind of like you as well, just kind of like you can't imagine doing anything else.
Yeah, you're so awesome. So awesome to emulate, so many empowering other women. I mean, we're all grateful to you.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What about, let's see here. So, and this I thought, as I look back kind of like on the questions that we said that we were going to ask, I thought this was potentially interesting question given kind of the state of affairs in the country right now. But what is one thing you think people should reclaim or focus more attention on?
Well, definitely, I believe that we should all pay more attention to our everyday actions. I think that we should all become more mindful and pay attention to our positive character behaviors. For example, are we being kind right now? Are we being patient in this long line? Are we showing thoughtfulness? Are we volunteering our service? I just think that if we just are mindful about our everyday behaviors, and if everybody participated in this, the whole world would become a better place to live.
I know. I think we get so caught up in our what's happening like right in here and in our own lives that sometimes we forget the impact that we have on those around us. So that being that mindfulness and just taking a moment to be kind and compassionate, I definitely think would have a huge impact. And I think that's a lot of what you're doing too with what you're trying to encourage and instill in kids right now, is to have that compassion and that mindfulness. And I think that's something that's very needed. And so thank you very much for bringing that to us.
I mean, children, and they become, the future. They are the future. They will be these purposeful, productive adults, hopefully. So, I mean, planting these seeds of positivity is a very important thing in the lives of our precious youth.
Oh, absolutely. And they emulate, they mimic what we do. You know what I mean? They just, it's crazy when you start looking at little toddlers and how they start acting out what their parents are doing and saying, the adults around them. And so, again, I think it's then very important for us to do that mindfulness and really kind of pay attention to what it is that we're doing and modeling, because little eyes definitely are watching.
You're exactly right.
All right, so let me see here. I'm going to try to, so I think her name is, I don't have my glasses on, so I apologize if I mispronounce, but I think it's Fefi Sanabria. She says, right on, Leslie, so.
Thank you.
I'm going to try refreshing the page so that way I can see if we've got any, we've gotten any other comments or questions yet on our video here. Again, if you're coming in now, if you're just popping in and seeing the video, just to let you know that this is definitely something that is interactive. So during the interviews, it's encouraged to ask questions, to comment, to throw up some hearts there for us to let you know you're there. to turn around and share with your friends and everything. Lily Wheeler, she gave us a heart, so thank you, Lily. I appreciate that. Is that a relative of yours, Leslie?
My mom.
Yay! Hi, Mom. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Awesome.
She's supportive with the books as well.
Oh, yeah?
She's a pathologist.
Really?
Yeah, she's a hard-working woman, that's for sure.
That is for sure. So tell us a little bit more, if it's okay. Tell us a little bit more about your mom.
Well, she's a wonderful lady. I mean, she's a hard-working woman that does her best every day.
That's awesome.
She's a good example. She takes really good care of my niece right now, Valentina. She actually just finished having eye surgery, so she's still healing. But even though she had her eye surgery, she's still taking the time to care about my books, taking the books to the churches, taking the books to the schools. Even though she really needs to focus on herself, she's still focusing on others, and that's my mom. She's always been compassionate, and she's always been the person trying to take care of others.
Oh, well, that's awesome, and I wish you, Miss Wheeler, a speedy recovery from your eye surgery. My mom's getting ready to have an eye surgery as well, so speedy recovery to you. All right.
Dude, I mean, that's really amazing as well.
Aw, that's awesome.
She's a beautiful.
Oh, I'm sure she is, because look who her daughters are. So, of course. All right. So we're going to do something kind of fun while we're waiting to see if anybody else has any questions. If anybody's ever watched, what's it called? Inside the Actor's Studio. With, what's his name? James somebody. I can't remember his last name. But he always does, like, at the end, towards the end of his interviews, he always does, like, a speed round of questions. And I always thought they were fun. So I wanted to incorporate that into my interviews. So, Leslie, are you ready for the speed round of questions?
I think I'm ready.
Okay. So, name something you're not good at.
I'm not good at giving up, that's for sure.
Nice.
I'm really determined, and I'll keep going and going and going until I get what I want to get done accomplished.
Awesome. I like that. The fighter spirit. What is your favorite word?
Love.
Oh.
I love to love, and I love to say love.
Yay. What's your favorite sound or noise?
I love the sound of birds singing in the morning.
Nice.
I just think that it sounds so angelic.
Is there a favorite bird call that you like?
Actually, I wish I knew the name of this bird that I love. A short story.
Okay.
When I was living in Tokat, Turkey, I was having a hard time at some points in time. But I would always have the windows open. And in the morning when I was getting ready for work, making my lunch, there would be this beautiful, angelic sounding bird singing outside of my window. It was just the most beautiful, joyful sounding song this bird could sing.
Oh, that's awesome. I love the sound of the morning doves in the morning. I love that. It reminds me of like summer camp. Okay, what profession other than your own would you like to try?
I think that I would like to try, like Tony Robbins. I think his name's Tony Robbins.
Yeah, the speaker?
And he does, public speaking, and he does the motivational speaking. I would really like to do something like that, where I, stand up in front of people who maybe need a positive word or a helpful word, and do like him or like Lisa Nichols, where they do like motivational speaking and they get people excited about making a change in their life like that.
That would be so much fun.
Yeah, do you know Lisa Nichols?
I think if it's the person that I'm thinking of, I think I've heard that name before, and that's ringing a bell for me for sure.
I think she did The Secret, and like she's just like this powerful motivational speaker. She's changed so many lives, and she's really impacted my life as well. She's awesome.
Awesome. Very cool. Okay, so last question on the speed round. I guess I haven't really been very speedy on our speed round. But if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive?
Maybe just welcome to your home.
It's nice. So your mom, by the way, popped in a comment. She said, "Aw, thanks. Happy for you, darling daughter. Continue to follow your passion. Love, Mom." Oh, that's sweet. That's nice.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you, Mom. Okay, so last question here in the interview is, what does your future hold?
Well, I really hope that the future holds more workshops with children, more books, platforms in which I can speak to audiences in which I can really influence big change. I'm really interested in speaking to young children and teens and adults if need be, to really talk about positivity and really get the message across of inner beauty, becoming beautiful on the inside out, and having less of a focus on our physical appearance. I mean, I think that these days we're really more so craving wisdom of our elders, just the wisdom of people, who've been through it and can teach us how to be better human beings for ourselves, for our others, for the world.
Well, that's nice. So tell us a little bit about, just in case there's somebody who is, and I'm going to scroll, I've refreshed the page, I'm going to scroll down and see if there's any other questions, but tell us a little bit about the programs that you do in school. So in case somebody who's watching and is in the area where you're at, who could plug you into a school program, what do you do?
Well, I am formally trained as an ESL teacher. However, I'm really interested in going to the classrooms and doing story times, doing workshops. I'm super interested in getting in with groups like Boys and Girls Club and Girl Scouts, because I really have the important message of being courageous, being kind, being helpful, volunteering service. So I would really like to get out there in these kind of groups where I can help promote courageous activities and do workshops in which maybe we make books of our own, and we can really influence change in that way. Not only are they reading the books and doing story time, but we can do workshops afterwards, and then we can make our own books that they feel motivated to write. And I can help teach them how to do that. I really want to get more into the school systems. I really want to do more work in workshops, story times, Montessori schools, public schools, any schools that would help me come in and do some speaking. And I would love to talk to teachers and talk about how to do workshops of their own in their own classrooms, and how to work with these books so the books can help with their classroom management.
Very cool. So on that note too, since we're talking about potentially getting you plugged in, where can people get in contact with you? What's your website or social media where they can find you?
So I have a website. Well, I have a Facebook page. It's called Positive Character Education Corner.
Okay.
There, on that page, you can look at my upcoming events. You can see the books that I have to offer. We can converse, and we can set up meetings for me to come to your school if you'd like. I'd love to do things with teachers, parents. I would love to do public speaking in your library. Also, I have a Instagram. It's called Beautiful Leslie Marie 83, and that's where I primarily promote the books. And we can also talk there and connect that way.
Awesome. Very cool. And just so you guys know, I went in and tagged Leslie's Facebook page. So that's one of the places that she had given. So if you're watching this either right now or on the replay, you can click there on that comment and be taken to her Facebook page. So I was going to say, I haven't seen, like I said, I'm going to refresh one more time just to see if we've got any other comments or questions. I also want to let you guys know that if you do happen to be watching this on the replay, please go ahead and put comments, ask your questions, because we will be monitoring the post, so that way we'll still be answering your question and everything like that. So I don't want you to think that just because you're watching the replay that you can't answer a question or give us a comment or anything like that. So let me see here. I am scrolling down. My computer does not want to be as fast as I want. So it looks like that's all of the questions and comments for now. Whether you're catching us live or you're watching the replay, thank you so much for joining us today. Leslie, thank you so much for agreeing to be on the Define Her Story interview series. I had started it last year and kind of let it drop off for a while, and so thank you for being the first one on the relaunch of the interview series. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I'm very grateful.
Absolutely. Well, everyone, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday. I hope it's a beautiful day for you, and see you guys later. Bye.